The door stood silently in the center of the chamber, white, clean, untouched. It didn't belong there. The walls around it pulsed slowly, expanding and contracting as if the space itself were breathing. Each pulse carried a faint vibration through the concrete beneath the man's feet. He could feel it travel up his legs, into his spine, settling behind his eyes like pressure before a headache. The air smelled wrong, sterile like a hospital corridor, mixed with something damp and old, like soil that had never seen sunlight. He took a step forward. The chamber reacted immediately. A low, distant groan rolled through the walls, deep enough that it didn't sound like noise, it felt like movement. Vein-like cables along the ceiling tightened and loosened, twitching as if responding to his presence. Somewhere far above, something heavy shifted. Behind him, the djinn spoke again. Its voice no longer came from one place. It echoed from every surface at once, soft and patient, like a teacher waiting for a student to understand something obvious. "You hesitate," it said. "They always do." The man didn't turn around. He didn't trust what he might see if he did. His reflection in the door's glossy surface was still smiling, still wrong. Its eyes followed him independently, even when he looked away. "What is this place?" he asked, his voice barely steady. The djinn chuckled, not cruelly, but knowingly. "This is where the town remembers," it replied. "Every building has a foundation. This is ours." The pressure in the room increased. The walls tightened inward just slightly, not enough to crush him, but enough to remind him that the space could change whenever it wanted to. He realized then that the chamber wasn't underground by accident. It was buried. The man reached out and touched the door. Cold shot through his fingers instantly, sharp and invasive. Images flooded his mind, too fast to process, layered over one another like broken film reels. A woman pounding on an apartment door that would not open, a child crying in a stairwell that never ended, a man standing at a window watching the street below twist into something unrecognizable, all of them screaming, all of them unheard. He yanked his hand back, gasping. The djinn's tones softened. "You feel them now," it said. "Good. That means the town accepts you." The man turned around at last. The djinn stood closer than before, much closer. Its elongated shadow stretched across the floor, connecting them like a living thing. Its face was calm, almost gentle, but the skin beneath it shifted constantly, as if something inside was rearranging itself. "You told me the door leads out," he said. "Yes, out of this chamber. And the cost?" The djinn's smile widened slightly. "That depends on what you're willing to leave behind." The lights flickered. Not electric lights, there were none, but the faint glow embedded in the walls dimmed and brightened erratically, as if the chamber were blinking. The man's ears filled with whispers again, closer now, clearer. Voices layered over one another, overlapping, contradicting, begging. "Don't open it. Open it. It lies. It's the only way." His heart pounded violently. "What happens if I don't?" he asked. The djinn tilted its head, considering. "Then you stay," it said simply. The chamber responded to those words with a slow, pleased vibration. The walls tightened inward harder, closer. The cables along the ceiling stretched downward slightly like roots seeking soil. The man understood then. This wasn't a trap. It was a choice. He turned back to the door. His reflection raised its hand before he did. That was when he screamed. The reflection's mouth opened impossibly wide, stretching beyond the limits of bone and flesh. Darkness poured out of it like smoke, filling the surface of the door with writhing shapes. Faces pressed outward from the reflection, dozens of them, each one frozen in terror. The man stumbled backward. The door swung open on its own. Light spilled out. Not warm, not comforting, but bright enough to hurt. The chamber recoiled as if burned. The walls shuddered violently, veins snapping back toward the ceiling. The djinn stepped back for the first time. Interesting, it murmured. The man didn't think. He ran through the doorway. He emerged into a hallway. At least that's what it pretended to be. The floor stretched too far in both directions, narrowing as it went, creating the illusion of distance that never quite resolved. Doors lined the walls, hundreds of them, each one slightly different. Some were wooden and cracked, others were metal, rusted, dented. A few looked disturbingly new. All of them were closed. The light here was bright, artificial, and constant. No shadows moved unless he moved. When he turned around, the door behind him was gone. In its place stood another hallway, identical. The whispers followed him. They came from behind the doors now, muffled but urgent. He approached one slowly, heart hammering. The number on it read 3B. He reached out. Before his fingers touched the handle, the door rattled violently. Something slammed at it from the inside. "Help me," a voice screamed from behind it, his own voice. He staggered back. Every door in the hallway began to shake. The lights flickered in perfect rhythm. From somewhere far away, the djinn's voice echoed through the corridors. "This is where you choose who you are and who you are willing to let disappear." The man clutched his head, overwhelmed. The hallway stretched, the doors multiplied, and somewhere deep within the structure, the town exhaled slowly, content.